Bob Dowd. I'm the Director of the Department of Emergency Services.
I'm Verna. I'm the Deputy Director of Emergency Management for the Department of Emergency Services. Today, I'm here to ask for permission to apply for the Hazardous Materials Emergency Planning Grant for federal fiscal year 2024. This is a 80-20 grant, 80%, 20% grant, meaning the federal government funds 80% of this grant. We, as the county, fund 20%. And that 20% of that grant comes out of the Hazardous Materials Fund. The amount that I'd like to apply for is $16,500. With that money, the 4 projects that I want to work on with this grant is a transcare exercise, which we've held in the past in this county. This would be our 4th one. It's having to do with, and it's a functional tabletop having to do with an incident by rail. Like I said, this would be our 4th one since I've been with the county. I'd like to fund the hazmat operations training that's required for all first responders in Lebanon County. And I'd like to send 2 members of the Special Operations Team to the International Association of Fire Chiefs Hazmat Conference in Baltimore in June, and 2 members to the Pennsylvania Hazmat Conference in August.
Total?
The amount for that we would get from the federal government would be $13,200. The amount that we would bring out of the hazmat fund is $3,300 for a total of $16,500.
Okay, motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this HMEP grant. Any questions regarding the motion? Yes.
Quick one, do you anticipate the transcare exercise being at the new facility, or are you doing it sooner than that?
It'll probably, depending on when we're in the new facility, it'll probably be around that time frame. This is for the federal fiscal year 2024, so October 1st, 2023 to September 30. So yeah, we could do it in the new. Yeah, we would do it in the
I
new.
remember doing one over at the Ag Center. We used that building. That was quite some time ago, before your time.
Yeah, that was before me.
Yeah.
We've done them at the Hebron for the city, Lebanon Valley College for Anvil,
that one.
because that splits the college in half, and then we just recently did one in Campbelltown for Palmyra.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think Bob was at the one at the college too.
Yeah.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
The next item I'm asking for you to accept the Radiological Emergency Response Fund grant. We're getting $15,018 this year. We get this every year. This would be for a time period of July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024. With this money, with the $15,018, I'd like to purchase 4 Ludlam Friskers, which are meters to detect radiation for those that may be contaminated with radiation going through a decon center or a reception center, and new chairs for the Emergency Operations Center, for the new Operations Center. The Friskers would be $4,200, and the amount for the chairs for the EOC would be $10,818.
I'll make a motion to approve the $15,018 request for the detection of radiation, and also the new chairs for the 911 center.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions regarding the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
The last thing I have is for approval of our emergency operations plan. We did a update with it for this is for the county emergency operations plan.
Would you like to just give us any highlights that you'd like to?
There's just some things within the plan that responsibilities were changed or moved from one group to another.
If I could toss in something, there's a big change that's working its way down through different levels of government called community lifelines. which is
I'm sorry, what was it called?
Community Lifelines. And it's a concept where you're focused on specific services, and you organize your EOC in a way that focuses on restoring those services and monitoring the current status of them. So the biggest change to this plan is integrating that concept into the basic.
If you remember with any of the exercises that you've been a part of, they would have all 15 of those emergency support functions. Now, depending on what the lifeline is, the community lifeline that needs restored is dependent on which emergency support functions are required. So it's not requiring,
Yep.
you know, the vast number of people. It's really streamlined it.
There's some documentation on PEMA's website if you want to dig into it.
We moved and seconded that we approve this? No? No?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second the
Didn't hear
motion.
myself. Okay, you're looking for a motion and a second that we just got for the Department of Emergency Services Operations Plan, March 23. Any questions beyond what we've discussed? Not all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
All right. Now I have a request that the commissioners approve an electrical contract change order for the new building. Total amount is $135,008. This change incorporates 10 different smaller pieces. The first 8 items on this list are really detailed changes as you go through and build the building. There's little things that just need to change in order to have the install work the way you want it to. That's what they are. They're add conduit here, add wiring here. The last 2 changes, we're adding lighting outside the building. There were some areas of the building that didn't have adequate lighting for security concerns. And then the final is a piece that we knew was coming. The security details for the building hadn't been finalized at the time of the bid, and this is the electrical piece that supports all of them. Happy to answer any questions about it.
I'll make a motion to approve the $135,008.
It's hard to say.
That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Change for the 911, the Emergency Operations Center.
Second.
Okay, it's been approved and seconded, moved and seconded that we approve this change order. Any questions regarding this?
I can,
Where are we with the percentage?
I was, total number with the change orders to date is 420,898 out of the 1.7 million that we had allocated to this.
And we're well into this.
Where these will become less frequent, yeah. The drywall has started going up, so it's not long until, once you're into that finishing stage, there's not a whole lot of major stuff that's going to change. So we're,
All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. If you want to give 2 seconds on Norfolk Southern, just that, we do have a plan in place and we monitor these things, and just to give a little bit of reassurance.
So for the last 7 years, how long I've been with the county, it's one thing I've been focused on. The rail affects 13 municipalities throughout this county, through our county. It splits the city in half, as I said before, splits the county in half. So yeah, it's an area of interest. We've spent this time getting ready for practicing, drilling, exercising for an incident if one were to occur by rail. We're in talks with some of the public safety people from the school district to run the Transcare exercises this coming year that I just spoke about with them to prepare for, if something were to happen at one of those rail crossings by there. We'll be including everybody in on that. We have a rail plan for the county that's in the process of being updated right now. It's in its update cycle. But it's not just going to be a rail plan that's going to be important with one of these. It's all the other plans too. The rail plan focuses on one specific thing, but then we have other plans like our evacuation plan, our mass casualty plan, our everything like that. that goes into our county EOP plan. Everything that goes into one incident is gonna cause, be multiple plans. Our team with emergency management is working very hard. We just had a little meeting with our local EMCs, emergency management coordinators last night, doing a little functional table, or a tabletop exercise. So we're in the process of really strengthening that response. I don't want to ever say that we're at 100%, nothing's, we're going to take care of everything, because there's just so many variables, but we're going to be really prepared for it.
Yeah, the commissioner's continuing to invest in our department. You're investing in the preparedness of the county to respond to any incident that occurs, and rail is being a major piece of this county with a lot of commodities that flow down the rail. That's something we're always exercising for. These TransCare exercises that have been going on for years focus on our preparedness for that. This new building enhances our ability to maintain situational awareness and respond to events, but even outside of that, it's engaging all the stakeholders. We regularly run down through all these different scenarios and try and hammer out the details ahead of time so that if something does happen, we're ready.
Great training center and everything.
Yep. I really hope the state looks at this like they look at the nuclear power plants when TMI happens, so that would be really beneficial.
I just have one comment. I think that this is very forward-thinking to keep this, whether, there was an accident with the railroad already or not, that people are focusing on, but I'd like to say that I kind of remember from the comprehensive plan, the overwhelming majority of our citizens are along between the 422 and the rail. That's where our population is. So what happens is going to probably affect 80% of our population. So this is so important, and thank you for keeping on top of it and including the commissioners when you do the exercises. I think that's important. Thank you.
I will not make that mistake again.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Thank you for your leadership and your investment in our safety as a county. Thank you.
Thank you.